Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. Some nights stay with you forever. Not because they were beautiful, but because they destroyed everything you thought was solid. This was one of those nights. I can still trace the exact second my life cracked open. The sharp sound of a champagne glass breaking near my heels. The music fading into nothing as my heartbeat roared in my ears. A few hours earlier, I'd felt like the happiest woman alive. By morning, I'd be the one left behind, carrying a decision I still don't know whether I regret more than I despise myself for making. It was meant to be an easy evening. My best friend, Emily, had insisted I come with her to a charity gala downtown. Bring Lucas, she'd said. You two never go anywhere anymore. She wasn't wrong. Lucas and I had been stuck in our routines for months. Work, sleep, repeat. Sharing the same space but barely touching each other's lives. When he agreed to come, something inside me lifted. He even smiled while buttoning his suit, the same smile I used to fall asleep thinking about. At the gala, things felt lighter. We laughed. We talked. For a brief moment, it felt like we were finding our way back to what we used to be. I let myself believe it meant something. Then a man I didn't know, Emily's coworker, asked me to dance. Lucas was deep in conversation across the room, and I told myself it was harmless. Just a dance. But halfway through, I looked up and saw Lucas watching. There was no anger in his eyes. No jealousy. Just distance. Cold, unmistakable distance. It sent a chill straight through me. When I returned to our table, he said nothing. Not during dinner. Not in the car on the way home. I should have reached for him. I should have explained, laughed it off, done anything. Instead, I let the silence grow heavy and poisonous between us. Back at the apartment, Lucas walked straight into the bedroom. I followed a few minutes later, still in my dress, still wearing the earrings he'd given me last Christmas. He sat on the edge of the bed, staring at me like I was someone he no longer recognized. I've been trying to talk to you for months, he said softly, and you keep dancing with strangers. I felt frozen in place. It was one dance, Lucas. You know this isn't about that. That's the problem, he replied, standing. It's never about just the moment. It's about everything we've let fade away in between. I don't know what possessed me to say what I did. Maybe it was the wine. Maybe the exhaustion. Maybe the anger of feeling judged. But the words came out anyway. If you've already decided I'm not worth it, then why are you still here? The second they left my mouth, I knew they were lethal. He stared at me for a long, painful moment. Then he turned to the closet, pulled out a small suitcase and began packing. I followed him, crying, apologizing, telling him I didn't mean it, that I was just upset. He didn't even look at me. You've been gone for a long time, he said quietly. Tonight just made it obvious. He left without slamming the door. Somehow that hurt more than if he had. That should have been the end of the night. It wasn't. I sat alone on the couch for what felt like hours, replaying every second, hating myself for pushing him away. Then my phone buzzed. An unknown number. You looked amazing tonight. Too bad he left so early. My stomach twisted. A photo followed, me on the dance floor with Emily's coworker. His hand rested lower on my back than I remembered. My smile looked too easy, too familiar. Before I could react, another message arrived. If you ever want to know how a real man treats you, followed by an address. I should have deleted it. I should have blocked the number. Instead, I stared at the screen, thinking about how Lucas had walked away without fighting for me. Resentment tangled with regret until I couldn't tell them apart. By 1 a.m. I was in a taxi. I told myself it was about control, that I needed to prove I wasn't the only one responsible for everything falling apart. But the moment he opened the door and pulled me inside, every lie I'd told myself collapsed. It wasn't tender. It wasn't meaningful. It was messy and hollow and wrong. The entire time, a voice in my head begged me to stop, to go home. I ignored it. I left before dawn, dress creased, makeup smeared, shame clinging to me like a second skin. Part of me hoped Lucas would be there, that I could confess, beg, promise to fix everything. The apartment was empty. On the counter sat a single note. I came back for you. You weren't here. My legs gave out. I sank to the floor, clutching the paper like it could undo what I'd done. He'd come back. He'd given me one last chance, and I'd wasted it within the same night. I I tried to reach him for weeks. Calls unanswered. Messages unread. Emily eventually told me he'd moved to another city. Months later, someone sent me a photo. Lucas smiling, his arm around another woman. She looked at him the way I once did. I don't blame him for moving on. I blame myself for losing him in a single irreversible night. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I'd just gone to bed. If I'd waited. If I trusted that love deserved patience instead of impulse. But wondering doesn't change the truth. He didn't leave without reason. I became the reason. Some people lose love slowly, piece by piece. Others lose it all at once with one choice they can never take back. And sometimes living with that choice is the real punishment.